Well, hello guys, I really do hope we're all doing okay. Here we are with one of my little projects. Now, what was supposed to start out as a tiny weeny little bit of weeding just to help out my mother-in-law get her allotment back up and running again has turned into a little bit of a saga. Anyone who's a regular viewer of this channel will not be surprised. So here I am just doing a little bit of weeding, and this is pretty much what it looked like after I'd finished. And because I accidentally called my mother-in-law a monster-in-law in the last video, she has actually paid me £25 to say something nice about her. So here goes. My mother-in-law is absolutely amazing and I love her deeply, and our family would be a lesser family without her in our lives. And also, for the age of 90, she looks really good, healthy and attractive. Oh, sorry, I've just been reliably informed she's only 70. But anyway, she is absolutely amazing and an all-round top human being. Wow, that was the easiest £25 I've ever made. But anyway, before I get myself into a lot of trouble by saying mean things, let's get back to the gardening. Right, the plan for this allotment is to get as many raised beds as I can in. I want this place really easy for me and my mother-in-law to look after, and we want to grow as many fruits and veggies as possible. And I'm in the very lucky position to be able to get a lot of timber for free from my friend who wishes to remain anonymous. So thank you very much, anonymous friend, for all of this free timber. These are actually really old scaffolding boards. They are about as sturdy a timber as you can get, and they're going to last a really long time. But the first thing I've got to do is get them built and get them filled, and anyone who's filled raised beds before knows what a nightmare that is. So I'm going to get cracking with this now, and I will speak to you throughout the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I really hope you enjoy this little project. For anyone puzzling about what I'm actually doing here, my idea was to take off some of these metal caps so I can actually screw these boards together. This idea didn't last very long before I came up with a new method, as you'll find out later on.
Just leave when you go up again.
And here we are with my new method of simply cutting them off, because if I carried on trying to hammer those off, it was going to take me days and days, and this is already going to take me quite a while. one down, loads more to go. So they say measure twice, cut once. They say this for a reason. Son of a biscuit. Honestly, really don't know how that happened. Possibly because I used the measure once, cut twice method. Damn it. So the next job is to fill these raised beds, but before I do that I've got to sand and paint them because I really need to move this massive pile of soil. Because that is where the compost bins are going to go, and it's also what I'm going to use to fill these raised beds with, that and compost. Oh, it's hot. So I said I was going to sand these beds. Now, I don't really need to because they're going to get painted, but the kids are going to do quite a lot of gardening here. And there are some quite vicious splinters on them at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to get them sanded. And yes, I know I should be wearing a dust mask, but I'm not. Even though I should. Good thing about this is it's got the dust extractor on it, which is fantastic for when you've not brought your dust mask with you. I'm gonna go and get a dust mask before I carry on. Oh dear. I've actually been doing so much painting just lately, I'm actually starting to enjoy it. For anybody who's not actually figured out what I'm doing here, this is the area where the compost bins are going to start to get built. Now, I'm not really sure about the design at the moment, so I'm just going to start throwing them together and then make the rest up as I go along, because that's what I pretty much always do. I do, however, get a lot of questions asking me about the tools that I use. There's nearly always links in the description, including this awesome little brad nailer that also does stapling too. So as I said before, having raised beds is great, but filling them up with either soil or compost can be quite expensive. Fortunately, there's quite a lot of soil on this allotment, so I'm going to use that first, and hopefully I won't have to buy in too much compost. Now there are loads of other methods you can use. I've seen people burying sticks and twigs and logs and all manner of things. Personally, I like to stick to either soil or compost, although as I say, it does get a bit pricey if you're not getting them for free. So while the RAF are actually trying to ruin my peaceful day in the allotment, I normally do garden quizzes, but today let's do a different one. Can you guess what sort of helicopter this is? And another thing that's noteworthy is I've reduced the audio you're listening to by 80%. I found a rather large patch of rotten wood. I don't know if this is from the raised beds of whoever used to use this allotment patch before, but you guys all know I don't like to see anything go to waste, so I'm going to get these all chopped up and then I'm going to pile them up, and then it's going to be a wildlife haven for lots of things that are probably going to come and eat all of my vegetables. I'm really sorry guys about the music choice. I actually get quite a few complaints every week about some of my music choice, but some of them just make me smile and others make me laugh. That's one of the ones that does both. So I really hope you don't mind, because I'm sat here editing a video and I am in tears with laughter. In fact, let's listen to it again while I'm building this bug hotel. Now I've got some fresh compost to go into these raised beds. This is the first of many. Anyway, I always say buy peat-free compost. You must buy peat-free compost. In fact, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night screaming, don't buy peat compost. And you'll never guess what I've gone and done. Although admittedly, it was by accident, and this was 27 pence per bag. So unfortunately, I got really excited, grabbed as much of it as possible before I realised this is actually a peat-based compost. And yes, before anyone says, I can see it says 3 for £10 on the bag, but the shop was selling off all of their summer stock for very, very cheap. So another good tip for when you're building raised beds like this is you can actually line the bottom with cardboard, used cardboard, whatever you've got lying around, and this will act like a bit of a weed suppressant. Now with these, I actually don't have any spare cardboard, and there's going to be about a foot of compost and soil going into these raised beds, which is going to be a major weed suppressant all on its own. Although with these beds that I'm building, I'm pretty sure there's about 1 trillion poppy seeds hidden in this soil, so I'm going to have to fallow those out manually, which is basically just keep weeding for a period of time until they've all gone. Now I've got a few of those raised beds done. I'm getting a little bit bored, so now I'm going to make a start on the compost bin. I've actually got some old weed suppressant, which was from a job where I was taking the old weed suppressant up, which I kept. Not really sure why, but I hate throwing stuff like this away. And now I'm really glad I did, because I'm going to use it to line the compost bin. And the plan being, if you can call it a plan, is to get this compost bin lined on the inside and the outside, just to offer it a bit of insulation, and eventually create a lid and a door which is going to help it keep nice and warm. And I'm going to create some amazing compost. Again, that's the plan. It should work. It sounds like it should work. I don't know if anyone noticed, I was using the manual stapler that whole time, forgetting that I'd got this with me, that is a nailer and a stapler. I do things like this all the time. When I'm gardening, I just float off into my own little world and don't really think. But fortunately I remembered before my hands started cramping up. Well, there we are guys, that's almost it for today. I'm getting a little bit tired, but I did have to go and get some more of these scaffolding boards because I'm running out already and I've still got quite a lot of raised beds left to go. And this job has been a lot more time consuming than I thought it was going to be, with a lot of energy being used to actually transport these scaffolding boards around. And the super duper hot spring and summer is now behind us, and you might be able to tell we've actually had some rain. And although it's a beautiful day today, the temperatures are starting to drop a little bit already, so I really need to get this done sharpish. If any of you guys have got any suggestions, please shoot me a comment and I shall see it done. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I, as always, will see you in the next one.